GP, is there some talk about more suicides as the angst and confusion in the world increases? Any words to support folks who might be thinking of taking this time to step out of the 3D? There's a better way to do it. I agree about stepping out of the 3D, right? I'm all for it, right? But to do that actually is still in the 3D, because the real problem isn't out there. The real problem is we don't know who we are. Now, that may seem, if you're not used to that kind of approach, right? It may seem like, oh, but wait a minute, there's all these people, they're doing these crazy stuff, they're taking over the Capitol, and they're doing all these weird things, right? Don't we have to do something about it? Well, yes, but where is it arising from, right? When somebody gets that far that they don't want to live anymore, and I was there, right? 50 years ago, I was there, right? But I didn't realize what I really wanted out of, what I wanted to commit suicide from, was my mind. Was my ego. That was what was killing me. That's the true death. That is the death from which you are resurrected. And all the pain and anguish and suffering and deprivation we are experiencing, it's the crucifixion of the ego. That's the deeper meaning of that metaphor, right? The ego, the false self, gets crucified. That's what it meant by taking on the sins of the world. And the wages of sin are death. That's what those scriptures actually mean. That's what they're referring to. The cross is an ancient symbol that symbolizes the intersection between the past and the future, heaven and earth. It's the quartering of the universe, in the middle of which the mythological figure of the king sits. The king, in this case, the king of the Jews. But what it represents is the death to our purely animal, instinctual nature, and rebirth in the realm of pure spirit. And so what we're really wanting to be free of is our minds. And there's only one way to do that, and that's to come to see that you're not your mind. You can live without the psychological mind. It can't live without you. You are in the driver's seat. What we're seeking is the truth. And when we have that, when we feel that, when it permeates our bones, the antics, the stuff that people are doing will not have the same kind of power or authority. You'll easily see through it. And those who are truly wanting something, that aren't just grabbing a position to vent their anger, which many are, those who are actually open and really, really, really want to be free, they will find you. They will find you. Right? The others, they won't, right? And the others that don't, what do we do about it? Nothing. You can't do anything about it. You can't force someone to wake up. You can't force them to even examine their own point of view. I don't swim with sharks. I don't expect them to become vegans on my behalf. Right? That is what they're like. And when somebody is stuck in that kind of mentality, full of anger and hate, the three poisons, right? Ignorance, anger, and greed. And when they're stuck in there and unwilling to question it, there's only one thing that breaks open that shell: suffering. And they are suffering, you can tell, but they believe their suffering is coming from somebody else, right? And so there's no answer in violence, whether that violence be manifest towards somebody else or towards yourself. Listen to these words. Are they threatening you? Are they telling you you're horrible? Right? It's that your life isn't worth anything, or are they telling you exactly how valuable you actually are? Right? It's simply what we have been taught about our own value and worth that makes us want to just end it all. And I agree. End that. Sacrifice that. Kill that. It's not you. It really isn't you. You've just gotten so used to thinking of yourself in a certain way, it's become obsessive. You are always in the driver's seat. Your mind won't tell you that. It will keep saying this stuff. It becomes, look, we've all practiced being who we're not for lifetimes. This is not your first rodeo. For lifetimes. You have identified with the body and the form and the culture and the times. And as a result, it's always ended in death, right? And then birth, because you can't actually put an end to you. Right? We're back. It's like those little punching bags that kids have. You hit it, boom, we're back. Right? You just keep popping up again. You're perennial, right? As it will always be. You're always getting yet another opportunity to see through the illusion. Don't question your worth. Question the worth of these thoughts you have mistaken for yourself. Right? And you can let that die. That is, it's not really dying because it's not really alive. You can't kill it anymore. You could kill a cartoon character because they don't really exist. Right? They're simply thoughts. That's all they are. And believe me, if you follow this, you'll come to a place where you'll find that the you that you really are is so mind-numbingly beautiful that you'll just fall down in worship of your own nature. It'll be the worship of God in its purest sense, but it will be worshiping God from the inside. You'll be kissed from the inside. Wow. Thank you for that, Ruth. I hope that answers. This is extra difficult when someone close to you, your daughter, is experiencing suicidal thoughts because she wants to have a man's body. And yes, there's nothing you can do except love them, love them, love them. Don't you be intimidated by their suicidal thoughts. Don't be intimidated by it. Ultimately, you have no control over it. There's no way you can control somebody else's experience. But don't you be afraid of it, because then it becomes your experience. Now, I'm experiencing fear for their thoughts, and of course, it's your daughter. I mean, I'm not. You cannot help but want to take that on for yourself, right? But make sure that when you take on the sins of the world, there's no Velcro here for them to stick, right? So they can move right through. So you are a rock. You can't be touched. And then you can be with her desire. Right? She doesn't want to be a girl. She wants to be a man. Okay, be with that. Totally be with that. And be with all the frustration that she would feel about that. The ridicule, the shame people will try to create for that. And just be there as the absolute bastion of pure and perfect love. That is all you can do. And know she's immortal. Even if she does dispose of this body, she's just going to get another one because you cannot kill you. You can't do it. And if you get that, you won't even bother trying. You realize that that's not really the escape you want. Right? To escape from the body, which is really to have the different gender and the like, it's fine. I don't care. Native Americans recognized all sorts. They didn't just have two genders. They had like 5 or 6, all the various kinds of combinations. They all were recognized, right? So it has nothing to do with that. But what we really want to do is be freed of our identification with the body. That's what it's really all about. And when that happens, it will normalize everything else. You'll either find this body is just fine, I don't really care. You change it, whatever. It doesn't matter at that point, because you are really free from the thing that's causing the suffering, which is identification with form.